Hello everyone, my name is Professor PUI, and I will be listing you 9 reasons why you should be playing Dungeons & Dragons. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Learning to work together. D&D is a cooperative game, which means in order to excel and accomplish your goals, you need to work with your friends. No one can really take the spotlight or hug it for themselves or act on their own accord without actually damaging and bogging down the experience. So working together becomes a much more important dynamic, giving you very transferable skills that you can use in your day-to-day basis. Number 2, solving problems. After you've gotten accustomed to working together and, getting to know what your friends actually do, you start to, deal with the problems and how to accomplish the goals. D&D is a thinking man's game. You have to think of solutions, not just to riddles, but to encounters and monsters and how to beat them. Use your weapon to the advantage of your character, or use a character per se in the world to give you an edge into a battle. There isn't always a one solution unless the DM is being very picky about the puzzle. But the DM usually are very open when it comes to solving puzzles. You don't really want to stick on a 4-hour session just trying to figure out how to open a door. Number 3, keeping in touch with your friends. Alright, I've played D&D with various groups of friends for about 2 years now. We almost play every weekend. Even though we are spaced out and living in different communities, we constantly got together and played for hours. There was a time where I saw my friends more often than my own family. We still get together online using Discord, Skype, or whatever service we can get our hands on, and run our D&D sessions through there. There's no better time than to reminisce about the times your character almost died by causing an explosion, which circumvented and hitting you or one of your friends, or how they derailed a campaign by killing a very important NPC. Yeah, good times. Number 4, learning practical applications for math. There's a reason why this game has been called a nerd's game for the longest time. And it's because we are dealing with numbers, probability, geometry, statistics. For example, when you attack a monster, you need to roll your d20 and add your character's modifier to the attack. Depending on how high you roll, you might be able to overtake the enemy's armor class, and then you have to roll the weapon's damage die, which could be a d6, d8, or whatever die it has. Now, this may sound like a lot to people who haven't really played D&D, but you don't really get to do a lot of math or a lot of physics homeworks. You're just gonna say, I'm going to attack the monster and I'm gonna use this weapon. The DM says, go ahead, you roll, and they will most likely help you with the roll. DMs here are here to be mitigators, not your punishers. We're here to help. It gets even trickier with spellcasters, but since they have a large array of spells, I'm not going to go into detail with that. But, that being said, you learn how to quickly do math, 5 plus 7 plus 8, yeah, that's like 17 damage. Oh, I forgot my rage damage, and then I add my smite damage, and, it keeps stacking, and at later play, you start doing a lot more math. So, yeah, you learn math, or you practice what you learn in mid school, high school. Number 5, stretch your imagination. Now, I've never seen a dragon, and you most likely haven't been at a dungeon, but the way you play the game, you don't really need to have been those places. The Dungeon Master describes the environment. It describes what your character is going through. If you're thrown into a dungeon, the Dungeon Master can describe the moss in the air, the stench of foul feces in the ground, and stuff like that, in order to put the picture in your brain. Very theater of the mind, where you just don't really need visuals. All you need is a way for the players to know what they're doing. And when combat starts, bring out the table. It's a great way to just imagine how encounters go down. And if you're a very adamant fantasy fan, your imagination just goes haywire with the world you start to explore. Number 6, develop a love of reading. Now, D&D has a lot of books. Now, if you're starting, you would get the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide. Those are the 2 books you would need, absolutely, if you are going to DM. Now, the Player's Handbook is 320 pages, and so is the Dungeon Master's Guide. You don't need to read the book back to back, but if you were to, that's a lot of reading, and a lot of time you will spend reading the books. It's no hassle when you love the game, when you love what you're doing, or you need to check up on a rule very quickly. It is amazing. And the other books, Wizard of the Coast releases, campaign guides, expansions, other monster manuals or tomes, where they just add about 100 more monsters for the Dungeon Master to just salivate over on how he could throw this to the players, and they just have to deal with that new monster. Number 7, educate yourself. Over the years, I have taken upon making my games as cool as possible. And that means reading a lot and just researching the internet about history, sociology, geometry, politics, mythology, theology, architecture even, and just world history altogether, or art history if we want to get into the meet and greet of it. When was the last time you would actually look for an encyclopedia, or a Wikipedia page for that matter, because you wanted to? This is what D&D gets you into, especially if you're just making the world. You just go on a rabbit hole of just give me everything I need right now. You just keep reading and reading and learning about the world, mythologies, monsters, creatures, just pure on lore all around. And I love it. I've caught myself researching full weekends just focusing on just the creature culture. D&D, for example, where tribes and politics and which tribes don't stand each other, even though they're the same race, they effectively fight constantly, and that kind of thing. And you just lose yourself while you're studying. Nothing stops you unless someone calls for you. Nobody's gonna stop you from your research. Sorry, I'm gassing. Number 8, escapism. What a better way to escape than to jump into another character's body and just embody them for a couple of hours. We do that all the time. We do it in video games, which is the easiest way to do it, but we've been doing it before that. We've got movies, TVs, we have books, which I believe is the first medium where we effectively embody the main character. D&D, we have a much more interactive focus. You take the role of a hero, an adventurer, and so you kind of lose yourself. You may be struggling in the beginning to get the hang of role-playing or being this character, but the more you play with them, the more you interact with the environment and start to do things. You start to get the feel of what this character actually is, or who you want him to become. And that's the whole fun of it, being somebody else to escape this boring reality where we're allowed to do a lot of stuff. You know, we can't just go around and fight goblins in our world. We can't just go and loot a dragon's hoard and then run away from it while it's flying above us trying to take the hoard we just stole back. You know, D&D is great when it comes to escapism, and if you have an active imagination, you just run wild. Number 9, have fun. D&D, above all else, is a game. So, the purpose of the game is to have fun. The game isn't to force any politics. The game isn't to effectively force you to do math. The fun of the game is that you have free will, if the DM allows it, to play these characters, do some ridiculous stuff, sometimes even derail the whole plan of your dungeon master, which in and of itself is fun. When the dungeon master is defeated because the players just break him. It's one way of having fun. And D&D is a game like any other. You're just there with your friends, having a blast. So what else is there to have? So those are the 9 reasons why you should play D&D. If you like what you see here, how about subscribe, leave a like, comment down below why you think D&D would be fun for you and your friends. If you'd like to help the channel grow and are feeling generous, you can join my Patreon page to receive benefits and vote on the next video. And that is all for today. Class is dismissed.